Now that we've explained what solutions journalism is and what it isn't, this module will cover how to incorporate it into your election coverage. We know that news coverage, including election stories, can be overwhelmingly negative, and this is causing people to avoid the news in record numbers. Even pro-democracy reporting can fall into the trap of being overly problem-focused. But it doesn't have to be this way. For every problem communities face, there are people working to address them, and some of them are making progress in newsworthy ways, which are great stories that are underreported. You can use the information you get from your communities about their top concerns and use it in a variety of ways. As was explained in the previous module, you can use it to craft election guides and to decide what questions to pose to candidates. You can also use it very powerfully by taking a solutions approach, asking who's working to address those problems and who is making newsworthy progress. Sometimes politicians may be promoting ideas they've seen work elsewhere, and it's worth vetting those with the solutions approach to see if they're actually worth emulating. It's also important for journalists to look to see if there are sponsors either within their community or elsewhere that are showing good progress, which can help hold politicians accountable by showing progress is possible. For example, many cities are facing an affordable housing crisis. Some are responding through initiatives such as incentivizing private developers to build affordable housing or by funding community land trusts. Is there evidence these initiatives delivered on their promises? Why or why not? Another way to integrate solutions journalism into your elections coverage is by using a solutions lens in reporting on election issues such as low voter turnout, a lack of language access at polling stations, or misinformation. Find examples of who is making progress in addressing those issues, which again is moving beyond identifying what's at risk to include how those risks might be addressed. So as your community tells you the problems you face and you begin reporting on those problems, start asking your sources who is doing it better, who has better outcomes for the problems you face. Another way to use solutions journalism is to follow up on initiatives in your community after a given amount of time has passed. Let's say local elected officials launched an initiative 2 years ago to tackle homelessness. Look for evidence about the impact of their strategy to see if it worked or didn't. If you are convinced it's working, you have the beginnings of a solution story. And if you aren't, this may be a good time to look for other places that are doing it better. And if you aren't, this may be a good time to look for other places that are doing it better. Once you publish a solution story, get elected officials and candidates to respond on the record. A growing number of newsrooms have found success using this model. We'll share some examples in our next segment. In our next segment, we'll talk to journalists at 2 news outlets that have excelled in integrating solutions reporting into their democracy and politics coverage. Stay tuned.